doing weird stuff. I think Sean is busy today too. Gregory usually jumps on once he sees that we're live, and he's like, "Oh, it won't ruin Dan's perfect symmetrical square," so maybe he'll jump on. But everybody else had some shit going on today, which is fine because I think this rant. I literally I've got notes for this episode. But I need to.
So we're going to follow the first line, and then that's it.
I had those notes for last week, and I crossed one thing off. We accomplished one thing. Let me do this. I gotta get us live on the radio. Let's make a radio show. Here we go. Rob, since Angela's not on, you need to dance so that I can tell the music's working. Yeah, okay. You're terrible at that, by the way. You should practice more. All right, what's up, home service homies? Dan Plata, home service CFO in the house. I got our boy Rob Anderson. Rob, you didn't put in a funny title for yourself today. Usually you have a really creative title that you drop in there.
There's still time. There's still time.
Just feeling like Rob.
Yeah.
Cool. What? Hey, everybody. Welcome to Home Service Happy Hour, brought to you by Best Damn Bookkeeping, because that's my company, and I'm bringing you this. So what's up? Speaking of what's up, Facebook user says, yo, what's up, Dans? Just tons of exclamation points. I love that. Hey, by the way, if you feel like calling into the show and you're, long-time listener, first-time callers type of situation, we got a phone number. It is 952-373-1775. 952-373-1775. Feel free to give us a shout. We're going to be bitching about social media stuff today. We did this episode last week where we were complaining. I got into it, Rob, with and I am not a social media arguer. I do like to jump in when I see social media back and forth, heated things happening. Oh wait, hold on a second before
Oh, there we go.
It's a no duels because
because
I'm in that. It's just my month where I don't drink, but I do love a beer, and so this way I can still have a beer. There's just no alcohol in it, or limited
0.5%.
Yeah, I mean less than. It says less.
Yeah, to say you will get water drunk before you'll get alcohol drunk. Your cells will literally be revolting against you.
But since we're bitching about social media, I was like, it's hard to have this episode without a beer. Right, this is a good beer episode, so I grabbed No Duels out of the fridge. So anyway, so here's the deal, Rob. I was and for those that didn't catch last week's episode, I usually don't get into social media bullshit arguments because I just don't care that much, and it doesn't make me happy. It actually kind of bothers me and annoys me and drives me nuts when people get into those things. And I got somebody on Twitter basically had said, hey, we need to tax the rich people more because they don't pay their fair share and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, here comes a commie guy that, we have a progressive tax rate system on our income, right? If people are earning more income, they are paying more taxes. I totally get that. If all of your income, if you've made so much money over your life, which the government has already taxed, but now all of your income is coming from investments that get taxed at a lower rate, yes, the rich people get taxed less, but only because they've already earned so much income over time that has been taxed at 50%, that now they have earned the right to be taxed at a lower amount because all their income is coming from investments, which are helping small businesses grow. And so I just had to point out to him hey, I make, I just said, I make $100,000 a year. These tax breaks have saved me probably $20,000 or $30,000 over the last few years. With that, I have started 2 new companies. I think, am I rich? And I posed that question to him. Am I rich? And he laughed at me. He said, LOL, no, you're not rich. And I was like, exactly. I'm not rich. Yeah, these tax breaks are helping the hell out of me. And because of that, I'm able to start new companies and hire more people. And so I think I'm doing pretty good. And I would definitely argue, I don't even think it's an argument. I would state the fact that I am going to be more efficient at helping more people than the government is. I do think the government has its place, and taxes are okay. We got to pay for roads. You can argue about the school stuff, but we got to pay for school. There's like public things that we all need, and I'm not going to go build roads, so the government should sort that out for us. Cool. I don't know why they need 30% of my money to figure that out. It's pretty incredible how inefficient they are, and I see it all the time. Like I had to call the IRS the other day for money that they owe me back because they screwed something up. They sent me a check for $300,000. It was supposed to be like $30,000. They did owe me money, which they said actually the stupid thing is they do owe me like $300,000, but it's spread across a bunch of different businesses, and so it's really confusing to try to get it. And they screwed it up for one business, which they've actually screwed it up for all the businesses. Just in this case, they screwed it up for this one business, and it was supposed to be like $30,000, and they sent me 300,000 some. So after 2 hours of time with them, which is costing me money and costing them money.
Oh yeah.
End result was I had to send the check back. It's going to take them like 6 months to reprocess a new one and send it to me. And it's like, okay, I promise 100%. Again, it's not an argument. It is a fact. Money is better in my hands than it is in theirs.
Yeah.
For creating jobs, for helping American people advance and live a better life. I think personally I can do a better job than the government can do, which is why I welcome the tax break, so that it allows me to keep more of my money so I can go do good things with it and create jobs and way more happiness than the government can create. Again, I'm not saying we shouldn't pay taxes. I'm not an anarchist. I'm for the government to be efficient, but it's already way too big. And he and I got into an argument, and he was literally pro big government. He was trying to argue that bigger governments create happier societies. And I was just like, I just don't want to live in a world with more corrupt people taking more of my money. Like, in what world does that create more happiness? Why would I want more corrupt people taking more of my money to spend it inefficiently? I don't understand that logic. And then I realized I was getting into it with this guy. So again, I'm not getting to my bullet points. I'm just recapping. But I realized I was getting into this with this guy, and this is one of my issues with social media. I was like, this is just not like, I'm not accomplishing anything. This is not making me happy. This is stirring me up. I'm sure the other dude on the other end of this, despite him being a moron, is not happy. And maybe I don't give a shit about his happiness, but at least like, I don't want to make him unhappier. That's not my goal. And so I literally just wrote a message back to him. I was like, hey man, like, I think all that's going to happen from us going back and forth like this is you're going to be more convicted in your beliefs. I'm going to be more convicted in mine.
Oh, yeah.
We're both going to leave this interaction sour, disappointed, frustrated. It's not going to solve anything. And it's definitely going to like make us less happy. Let's just leave it here. I'd like to believe you're a good person and you're going to go do good things. So let's leave it alone. Just, go out and help some people, man. That's what makes the world go round. And literally his reply was, well, I thought I was doing my good deed for the day by trying to educate you. And I was like, you're just like, what a fucking troll. Right. Like, and like, he was just clearly such a piece of shit. And I was just like, this was on Twitter. And I originally got on Twitter for business purposes, but I just never use it for that. I do use it to keep track of my Packers. I like to see what's going on with the Green Bay Packers. And so there's some good Twitter feeds out there. But I do find like probably 10 minutes a day, I end up just getting sucked into it and it's useless. And then this one thing I engaged in just really made me frustrated about the fact that I even got sucked into it. Right. It was just like, God dang it. Like this piece of shit just wasted like my mental capacity when I could have been thinking about way more important stuff, family, business, whatever. And so anyway, it just caused me to reflect on what I dislike about social media. And obviously, like, I disliked it enough to delete that, but I'm also just like conflicted in the fact that here we are making a show, streaming it on social media. And so it feels, I'm conflicted because it feels a little hypocritical that I just want to talk shit about social media, but even on my little background of the thing we're streaming right now is follow us at Home Service Happy or on TikTok and to Instagram and to YouTube. And so it's like, I don't think I'm a hypocrite. Like, I'm not blind to the fact that social media drives me nuts, yet here I am on social media. but it did make me think, like, clearly there are things that I like about it or promise that I see in it where I feel like it's worth something, or I just wouldn't be here doing this thing. Right.
Yeah.
So I started writing down a list. I have things that I hate about social media. I have things that I like about social media. And surprisingly, I came up with a pretty good list that's, from a bullet point standpoint, I think my list of likes is actually longer than my list of hates. My hates are just very more like just harder hates. The likes are a little fluffier. And then I even have some meh. I got 3 bullet points under meh. Like, I don't love it. I don't hate it. I can live with it. It doesn't, if that was all it was, I probably wouldn't be on it, but it wouldn't, if I was already on it and that's all it was, I probably wouldn't delete it from my phone. So clearly one of the things that I hate about social media is the black and white blanket statements, people using bullshit data, fake news. Like, that was one of the things the guy's doing. He's just like sending me these charts and graphs of like a bunch of shitty sources and a bunch of shitty graphs. It's like, man, you can make data say whatever you want. Like, send me whatever you want, but it's just
you use the same statistics to prove both sides of the point. And
like I could send you back a bunch of Fox News bullshit that I don't believe either to try to prove my point. But we both know that's a bunch of bullshit. I'm just open-minded enough to know that both the sides are bullshit. And you are blind enough to think that your side is right. And the fact that you think there's sides, right? He kept trying to point. He's like, that's just right-wing rhetoric. And I'm like, dude, I don't have a wing, man. I hate all this shit. It's all a bunch of bullshit.
Right wing, left wing, all part of the same bird.
Yeah. It's like it's the corrupt bullshit that's winning, right? Like, they're all full of shit. So anyway, that it was just so frustrating getting this argument with him. I was just like, I don't want any of them. I just want them to leave me alone. That's all I want. We don't need a bigger government. Whether there's more government on the right or more government on the left, I'm not gonna like it. So that's one of my big hates, is just the, like, those blanket statements, the black and white. You're either on this team or you're on that team. And it was funny, like, as I deflected his bullshit arguments, he kept changing his argument, right? To try to, like, get in front of me over here. And it was just like, stop trying to, like, prove me wrong. I'm not on a side. You're the one that's acting like we're on different teams here.
I'm trying to get you to think.
I'm on Team Dan, saying, here's what is best for me and what I see in the real world. You're sending me a bunch of graphs and propaganda from people who have something to gain from manipulating you. I'm just talking to you about what I see and what I'm able to do on my own versus the bullshit that you're, whatever Kool-Aid you're drinking from whoever put that data together for you. None of that is your own observation, right? It's all some bullshit you drank the Kool-Aid on. So that's like hate number one. It's just that bullshit, just drinking the Kool-Aid, people acting like something that, like, an article or a title of an article is truth. Just driving me nuts, man.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
So, guys, Dan's really not worked up. This is probably honestly the longest rant that I think I've witnessed you go off on. And I'll say this, our pastor, or one of our former pastors, made the good point about it. He's like, you see these arguments all the time on Facebook and social media. And, like, when was the last time that anyone's mind was changed in a discussion on social media, especially when it's like a polarizing subject? Like, you want to convince me that this C9 bulb is better than that C9 bulb? Okay, maybe. But I know it's right. I know my truth, which is all the insanity of it all. It's funny, like, when was it Obama and McCain election? Like, I got involved with so many debates, disputes, and like, and I ended up blocking several people because you get to the point where people won't have. I'm all for discussing. I'm all for arguing. Like, let's talk about it. Like, you can make points, I can make points, but as soon as it becomes like all the different labels that people want to then throw, it's like, no, that's not what I said. And like we were talking earlier, I'm in a situation with a customer that, like, literally is like, the words that I said, I said, you've been one of the most challenging people to deal with, or you've been difficult. You've been the most So you're saying you don't like to be challenged? You don't like when people challenge you? And it's like, no, that's not what I said.
That's what you said.
That's what you're hoping that I said. And it's an absurd situation. And but it is, man. And I'll see this too with social though. Like we crush it, and I'm not one to shy away from like discussions. I just stopped caring, like that there's that the beauty of snoozing somebody for 30 days and then you're like, oh, crazy's back. You know what? We can be friends in real life without a Facebook friendship. It's okay. Like it's not going to be a problem.
Yep. And I actually see that out of people that I know personally, and I see how they behave on social media, and I'm just like, why are you doing that? Like, you're not that person. Quit trying to pretend you're somebody you're not. Quit riling other people up and riling yourself up. That's not at all how you behave in person. So stop being a freaking keyboard cowboy and get off your high horse. Like, treat them like you would treat them if you were talking to them face to face. Which kind of gets me to like my second point, right? Is the keyboard cowboys and just people not acting the way that they would otherwise act, because there's this huge layer of insulation where they just get to be the worst version of themselves. And it's just so frustrating that nobody out there is trying to be the best version of themselves. They're all stooping to be a worse version of themselves.
Well, and we've got people that, I've got somebody that I know locally that everybody's like, the internet version of her is so like none of the craziness that gets posted online would be something that she would like. She's civil and normal face to face. And then online, it's like, oh my goodness, you've forgotten who I am in real life and who I'm trying to be right now. Like, it's crazy. People are crazy.
Here's the question. Here's a real question. So I now have 3 things crossed off my list. I have the blanket statements I don't like. The trying to make things, well, you're either this or you're that. I hate that stuff. So I covered that. Covered the political BS. I think I covered the political BS. I just don't like politics because I think politics kind of goes back to the first thing that I hate, which is trying to make things one thing or the other. Anytime stuff gets political, there's no good way to actually have a rational conversation on there because you can't have the context. You can't ask good questions. It gets aggressive and offensive too quick. And people love to just like spew their bullshit on there. So I think I covered that one. And then and people hiding behind their keyboards. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 more things that I don't like about social media, related, but separate types of things. And I'm debating if we should keep just going down this rabbit hole of things that are shitty about social media. And that might take up the whole episode. Or if it makes more sense to get to some things that we like. So we do a little bit of yin and yang versus negative. I don't know.
I mean, that's it. Obviously, anybody who knows me knows that I've made a sizable amount of money on social media. And like, I crush that game. Even if it's just for all the organic side of it, just getting raw attention. I think in the past 30 days, we had something like 100,000 or 90,000 impressions and engagement, like with all of what we've been doing. And we finally got an amazing virtual assistant who's taking all the pictures and videos that I'm taking and like turning this stuff into like amazingness.
I didn't even have opportunity to monetize
and content and
well, you froze up. But now you're
I even bought an Ethernet cable. Like, I'm hardwired in to like our extender, which I know is kind of hardwired to a mesh. But like, I was getting 100 megabit, and right now I'm getting 3.8 over 2.35.
Nothing like
it's like, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Bad.
Granted, the boys are probably downstairs like playing Minecraft or something like that on there.
But they're doing sweet stuff.
Yeah. Well, I say a really good thing with social is like the throwback pictures, this day, 8 years ago, especially with kids, like seeing that. And one came on my thread from the first year we did Christmas lights. when we first had our first 6-figure month in November of 2020 or 2018, 17, something like that.
Something back there.
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of cool. Like when you look back at those goals and those targets that you wanted to hit, and like seeing that, like all I look at nowadays is like we are doing better now than we did before, so we will continue to do bigger and better things, and like not realizing that like it wasn't a foregone conclusion that we were going to hit 200 grand back-to-back months. And like, you know, this year I wanted to do 300 a month in October and November. We didn't do that. But you know, next year we will. Next year we'll be doing, you know, 150,000 in wash revenue each month, and starting to add on landscape lights and all the other things that we're going to be doing. And I really like that, like history side.
Yep. And it's cool that it like prompts memories and stuff like that. Like, hey, check out this thing. And it does a good job of picking the right ones and like throwing something in front of you or like, oh man, that was awesome. And so I did have that down. Just not that like it prompts it to remind you, but just like the storage of the pictures and the memories is pretty damn cool. Let's take a break here. We gotta hit these little commercials. So let's do a little commercial action, and we'll be back with a little more home service happy hour right here on Turfs Up Radio. Don't go nowhere.
Creating art from darkness. For over 20 years, Cast Lighting has designed and manufactured the world's most durable, energy efficient, and technically advanced landscape lighting products available at astonishingly affordable prices. Cast offers an all-encompassing line of products with everything you need to get the job done. Cast Landscape, their most durable product, is best-in-class, low-voltage landscape lighting made of solid bronze with integrated and drop-in LED technology. These fixtures are built to endure the most demanding environments. Source Lighting, a new division by Cast, is your source for professional grand landscape lighting made of durable brass, offering both integrated and drop-in LED technology, and backed by Cast, the world's most durable outdoor lighting. Cast Lighting gives you innovative, state-of-the-art, old-world craftsmanship with tomorrow's technology. Visit their website at cast-lighting.com today. That's cast-lighting.com.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world, no one rocks like Turfs Up Radio. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Crest is leading the transition from gas-powered lawn equipment for professional operations with the introduction of the industry's first truly game-changing innovation in battery-powered OPE. With the Crest 8-minute cyber system, professional landscapers can now replace their messy gas-powered equipment without sacrificing performance, power, or runtime. The 8-minute cyber system allows for Crest-made 60-volt batteries to fully charge in 8 minutes or less, just enough time for a water break. Complemented by a full line of equipment benchmarked against gas-powered products, landscapers can finally take charge of their business and make the switch to battery. For more information, visit Crest.com. Visit Crest.com. Having issues with your maintenance schedule? Want better routing and ability to track your vehicles when they leave the shop? Do you want to reduce your liability exposure with your vehicles that are moving billboards on the road? GPS Fleet Consulting uses cloud-based dashcam monitoring and can easily track your vehicle maintenance using real odometer readings. GPS Fleet Consulting can also assist you with live phone support and email support with guaranteed same-day responses. Yes, same-day responses. Stop wondering where your trucks are and start managing your fleet with GPS Fleet Management Systems. For more information, visit gpsfleetconsulting.com. That's gpsfleetconsulting.com.
All right, homies. We're back. Rob's dancing. He's filling in for Angela today. He's the dancer. We got a little more home service happy hour coming at you. I'm so conditioned after like years of making a show. It's still hard for me to not say bookkeeping, beer, and BS. In fact, I might have said bookkeeping, beer, and BS previously and not even noticed it because I'm so conditioned from years of doing that. But this is home service happy hour, and we're back with our boy Rob Anderson, who just muted himself. I unmuted you, and then you clicked mute because you thought you were muted. but I already did it. I think I did that.
No,
know.
it was me.
I don't know. I don't even know what's going on anymore. We're talking about social media, the rants, the pitfalls, but there's some things that we like. We hit that opportunity to monetize, the opportunity to make impressions, right? From a business standpoint, super cool. Just that the memories and the storage of the pictures and stuff like that. Remember when we used to like get cameras developed and shit, and you'd like take film and like that was where the stuff lived. And now it's just like it like kind of lives on your phone, but also just kind of lives on social media. Look at you go. They still make those, huh?
Yeah. So my kids do this camp during the summer, and they're not allowed to have like technology devices and whatnot. And so
that's considered not technology now.
Because you can't, there's no preview, so you got to take pictures. And the crazy thing is like the camera costs like $15 to $20. And then you have to find like the one last,
someplace that will actually develop
Rite Aid or whatever that'll actually go process it, and then it's going to be another $25. And if you want it to be digital, that's another $15. So now you're at like $55 to get like 24 pictures. So it's $2 a picture.
Yeah, and they're probably not good anyway because you couldn't tell if they were good.
No. And then so one of the times I actually literally just ordered my daughter's like cameras when I dropped Brooke off at Castaway this summer and Ellie, and I just ordered them digital cameras. It was like, here you go. If they're like those pictures on a crappy digital camera will still most likely be as good, if not better, than the actual like Fujifilm kind of deal.
Good call.
Yeah.
Way to be thinking.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of bullet points here, but let's hit a meh. I got a couple meh things with like social media where I'm just like, ads. I don't really mind the ads. Like I think my brain is pretty good at just ignoring them. And so they don't really bug me that much. Like I don't really enjoy being marketed to, but I also don't mind it because I'm just so conditioned to ignore it.
Yeah. I just hate that like it's not like it's gotten to the point where you look at the first person's post and then the second thing when you scroll down on your feed is an ad. Like Facebook, let me at least see like a couple of things instead of immediately an ad.
It just doesn't bug me. It just doesn't bug me. I'm like I'm just right past it.
Well, we've got obviously all the Christmas ads and stuff, and like it always annoys me when it's like, okay, cool, how much is this product? Oh, it's $200 for this like Whirlpool like hot tub pillow. Literally a pillow for the hot tub or jacuzzi or whatever in our bathroom. Like
gotta be a fancy pillow. It's gotta be waterproof.
Yeah, $200. Like, I mean, it literally looks like they just took like a pillow from your patio furniture and just set it in there. I was like, I could probably do that for $30. Pretty sure I could find one that wouldn't be.
You don't know how fancy it is, though. It's probably super fancy.
Yeah, super fancy. That I can't just go ahead and replace 6 times in that process. Oh no, it got moldy. Let me throw it away and get another one. Like
kind of like a Kodak camera, like you had there. This one's kind of along the same lines, but just like vendors showing off their stuff, right? And it doesn't need to be an ad, but just like vendors posting stuff that they're up to. It doesn't bother me, and especially if I like know who they are, it's kind of interesting to see what they're up to. So I don't really love it, but I definitely don't hate it. It just doesn't really bother me. It's kind of like, okay, cool. I got one more meh. Motivational posts and quotes. It's a meh for me. I get that I'm just like enough already with your quotes. But kind of like meh. Yeah. Doesn't bug me. It's not my favorite thing. Like I wouldn't sign up to be like, what quote did somebody else quote today?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like pursue social media to check out people's quotings, others people's, or even making up their own quotes, which I think is even weirder. But it's not gonna attract me to it. It's not gonna get me to cancel it either. Unlike stupid political rants, which will get me to cancel somebody's shit. like my political rant earlier, which was kind of an anti-political rant, a non-political political rant, if you will.
Yeah. Don't argue with me about politics.
Yeah. Or I will argue about not arguing about politics.
Yeah.
I think. Okay, back to shit that I hate, right? Trolling / gaslighting. I don't even know if I fully understand what gaslighting is because it's kind of a new term and I'm not on the up and up. I'm not cool. But just
making explosive things, man. I mean, you light up gas, it explodes, right?
Oh, I do like that. Okay. Maybe I'll cross that off. But just like people deliberately saying things to aggravate or to kind of like that dude was doing to me. It's just like, just go waste somebody else's time. Like, if literally the thing that you have to do right now is to intentionally bother somebody else or stir up shit, like you might as well, be a former employee of mine that I fired for the same reason, right? Like you're creating drama, which is not at all helpful, like just not at all helpful. And it's probably the number one, like worst thing about social media is it's like, it's so divisive, right? It just separates people into like two groups and it's because people are such pieces of shit. And so the trolls, the gaslighters, it's just like, just knock it off. It's bullshit.
And I'll just piggyback on that. It's the gas and the ones that post specifically nonsense to just start stuff. And you're like, really, man? Like, and I'll throw another one on that is when everybody starts saying, hey, man, I got this out-of-state project. It pays $3,000 a day. It's February 9th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. And it's like, dude, you're like the 9th person on my feed to post that. Please stop. It wasn't funny the first time. We've all seen this now. So
that would go under the meh. That would go under the meh for me. I don't hate it. It's not going to keep me around. I'm not going to engage with it, but I'm not going to cancel the app because of it.
Sure.
But people trolling, I'm going to cancel that shit. I'm out of here. Leave me alone. Similarly, like probably the same person. This one's probably the same person. It's just when they're in a good mood, maybe. I think when they're trolling or being gaslighters, they're in a bad mood. When they're in a good mood, they become gurus. And they act like they know everything. And they give advice on shit that they actually don't know. That stuff drives me bonkers. Especially as a guy, like when I see people giving bad financial advice, I'm just like, no, like, why would you have spoken up? You don't even know enough to know that you don't know.
Yeah.
At least you could curb it. If you know that you're not, if you know enough to know that you don't know, you are senseful enough to say, hey, I'm not really sure, but here's the thing I've heard, right? Or here's a perspective that I'm aware of, and then maybe I'm not getting it right.
Yeah.
Right. If you just jump on and like overconfidently give advice about something you don't actually know about, and you go like full guru on somebody, like you're going to lead somebody down a totally wrong path. And I see it from an operational standpoint. I see it from a financial standpoint. It's just like, you don't need to chime in. If you don't actually know, just keep your mouth shut. And if you do think you know and you're that wrong, like, what the hell happened to you?
Yeah.
Who did you believe? Who told you that and you believed them? Why didn't you ask any questions? Right? Like, it's like, are you trying to be cool? Are you trying to like boost your ego by feeling like you're important because you gave somebody an answer even though it was wildly incorrect? And it was binary to you. If you don't answer, you must be wrong. Therefore, you must answer to be right.
Yeah.
And that was the only binary part of that decision in your mind. It wasn't actually that you philosophically would need to be right. It was just that you needed to answer and therefore you're right. I don't know. Gurus, man. I'd say don't get me started, but I already got started. So, all right. I'm going to hit one more that drives me nuts, and then we're going to go back to some good ones. Sound good?
Okay.
And I don't know, I could see this being a meh for somebody else, but I think I have a unique lens because I see what is actually happening in people's businesses, and then I see them post as if it's not what's actually happening. So just the self-promotion posts, hey, look at how good we're doing. Hey, here's a picture of my fleet with all my employees and how big we are. Here's my revenue from this huge job that I did. and they just do this like weird vanity thing that's like totally for them, totally ego, totally patting on the back. And it gets to there's like an in-between transition here, but the way I frame it is like it's like they're answering a question that nobody asked.
Yeah.
Like nobody said, "Hey, what was the biggest job you did this year?" It's like they just make a post as if somebody asked them that. Or, "Hey, how big is your fleet?" "Oh, it just so happens like we took a picture to hang it in our office. Here it is, so I'm gonna post it out here for all you guys."
Yeah.
Right. And it's like they're posting it to distract people from the fact that their profitability is terrible. And they don't actually know how to run a business. They just grew a thing that they can't handle. So they're going to take a picture of it and at least say like,
look at how much debt I have.
Somebody please tell me I'm worth something, that I'm good.
Yeah.
It's like, just send it to your mom. Like your mom will be super proud.
Yeah.
But like, you don't need to you don't need to throw that on social media to like get yourself a bunch of pats. Maybe you do need to throw it on social media to get yourself a bunch of pats on the back. Maybe that's where you get them from. I just don't, like I said, I think it could be a meh for somebody else. It drives me bonkers because I see, kind of like we talked about earlier, I see people, how they behave in real life, and then some of the shit they do on social media. I'm just like, why would you do that? That's not how you actually are. Why do you are you unaware of how much you change to being a piece of shit out here? Or are you not aware of that? And somebody needs to tell you like, hey, you're not actually like this in person, but when you're on here, you're a really piece of shit. Like maybe nobody's telling them that. And I think this is kind of like the same thing. It's like you're in real life, you're like, hey, I'm really struggling. I've grown this business that I don't know how to handle and I don't have the pieces in place and I'm losing money on it. And yet then you're posting, hey, everybody, we just did this super sweet big job. And it's like, yeah, that you underbid and then you didn't execute it well and you lost money on. Like you didn't mention that part of it. Or here's this huge fleet that I have, except I'm in massive debt and my cash flow is negative because I can't afford any of this stuff because I didn't understand how to do any of this. And it's like I said, I see the story behind the scenes more often than I just see the pictures and the people needing to self-promote. So it's just like this, the weird self-promotion. Just not a fan of the weird self-promotion. I don't like it. I had so along the same line, then I'll switch to something good. There was a dude that posted, I don't remember who he was, and if he watches the show, I apologize for ranting about you. But he just posted the weirdest thing about like his marriage and how they were going to be the best parents and blah, 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 blah. And there were some funny comments like, clearly you guys don't have kids yet. Like younger couple. And it was just like, between God and my wife, I'm unstoppable. We have the best marriage. Nobody has as good of a marriage as ours. I know everything about marriage and having kids, and we're going to be the best parents ever because we believe in God the way that we do. And I was just like,
and you got married last weekend?
Yeah. And it was like, and just like, A, why the fuck would you post that? Because none of us give a shit about your marriage. We have our own and we work on those marriages, right? B, you don't know anything about it yet. Right? Like, yeah, I bought a new putter golfing one time and I was really good at putting for the next few weeks until like the fact that putting is hard made it so that the putter didn't actually matter as much. It was just in my head and I was excited about having a new putter. So I convinced myself that I was good at putting for a while. It's the same fucking thing. Like, yeah, marriage is sweet for the first 6 months and then it becomes real work. So talk to me when you're 60 years old. And if you're still married to that person at that point in time, then that's awesome. Way to go. You have a really strong marriage. You ain't got shit if you've been married for like a few years. You haven't even done anything hard yet. Rob, how many kids you got?
4.
Yep. Once you've got 4 kids.
Actually, I only have 3 now because one's an adult.
That's true. Yeah, you're just slowly just working your way back down. But so it's like that's a strong marriage, right? You got 4 kids, they're still alive, and you got one out the door successfully doing their own thing. That's a strong marriage. Don't start ranting to me about like, again, as if somebody asked you a question that you feel compelled to answer, like, hey, how's your marriage going? Well, let me tell you, right? It was just this random post. And I'm just like, why would you put that out here?
Yeah.
What like is can't your wife tell you that she loves your marriage? Right? Why do you need approval from the rest of us about your marriage? Just worry about your marriage. I don't care about your marriage. I got my own to worry about. So anyway, it's the same thing. That was just like, it was a weird self-promotion thing where it was just like, Why are you out here there's just no value in you self-promoting your own marriage out here. I just didn't understand it, and it drove me bonkers. So much so that I would almost cancel social media if that's what it was. But now here's the good things, Rob. I got a list of good things again, because otherwise, why the hell am I out here? I'm making this content if I hate this stuff so much. So here's some good things. I do like, unlike those last two things that I hated, where it's like they're answering a question that nobody ever asked. What I do like is the questions. There's some really good questions. People ask some damn good questions, and it's fun to see smart people responding to those questions and helping the people that ask the question.
Yeah.
There's some good shit that happens.
I'll say I enjoy those ones where it's like, hey, we're dealing with a situation. This person's being crazy. What do I do? And it's like, here's how to say it, and I worked for 7 years at Verizon. I got yelled at and blamed for all kinds of stuff that I would say maybe 1 or 2% of it could have actually been like my fault. The rest of it wasn't, but you had to take that and you had to learn how to articulate things properly. And, I got in trouble with somebody who's like, I want this done. And I was like, sir, I want to make it abundantly clear that blah, blah, blah. And he was like, abundantly clear. And I'm like, oh goodness. And, I had this situation with a client yesterday, and she just kept poking. And like, I had one of my techs with me, or one of my other employees. And he's like, she kept trying to get you to like lose it, and you didn't, and it's like, yeah, my like literally I'm like borderline shaking, and I'm trying to be like as devoid of all emotion in my voice. Like,
yeah,
it was just, it's crazy.
Yeah, ma'am, I'm going to let you work through your craziness, and I'm just going to stand here and take it. There's a Snickers commercial where there's the referee on the sideline, and the coach is just
I love that commercial.
Just giving him the business, and the announcer's like, man, how does he learn how to take it? And then they flash to him and his wife at home, and his wife is just in his ear giving him business, and he's like sitting back in his chair, just living his best life. It's brilliant. It reminds me of that. So I like the questions. I think there's a lot of good questions where they can, back to things I hate though, where they can go wrong is when a guru steps in and answers it, and they don't actually know. And you don't know when you ask the question that they're a fucking idiot. Or
when their answer is all, let me sell you.
Yep. Oh, that's another, I didn't get to that thing that I hate. I'll get to that one. That's on the hate list, but that'll be after the next commercial break. All right. So questions. I like questions. One more, and then we'll take a little commercial break. I do like the groups. Like, I'm in a couple groups right now that we're going live in. And so to have a specific place where the questions can be specific to that thing, whether it's an industry group, a hunting and fishing group, a funny group, whatever it is. I like the groups. I like the segmentation where you can kind of opt in, opt out, that sort of thing. I am like a member of way too many damn groups, but I like that you know what you're there for. You can segment, opt in, opt out. I feel like there's some good value in the groups. And then like when there's content like this coming out, it's in the group that you decided to be a part of. Right. Mm-hmm. And so it's not that everybody has to get slammed with this stuff, just the people that wanted to opt in and see this stuff. So I like that. Like me some groups.
I like that we get to hang out.
That's good. I'm going to write that. Hanging out with Rob.
Hanging out with,
I didn't write that one down. I think
specifically Rob. Now we're gonna make the list really long. I like to hang out with so and so and this person and that person. And if your name's not on the list, actually Dan doesn't like hanging out with you.
Yep, sorry. But no, that is a good one. I thought I had that written down, but just like especially for us, where it's like in the spaces we play, we just don't get to hang out that often.
Yeah,
right. We get to see each other in person a few times a year, and so to be able to do this keeps us hanging out, drinking some beers together. All right, let me do some quick commercial breaks here, and we'll be back with a little more home service happy hour right here on Turfs Up Radio.
True Fuel is a high-octane fuel precision-engineered for your 2- and 4-cycle equipment. They use the most advanced synthetic lubricants and stabilizers in an ethanol-free fuel, improving performance, protecting your equipment, and saving you time. That means easier startups, smoother idling, and quicker trigger response, plus extended life for all of your equipment. True Fuel is ready to use and easy to store, helping your operations be more efficient and reducing maintenance costs. We at Turfs Up use True Fuel because we know it works and we know it's the best option. Check out TrueFuel50.com to learn more. That's TruFuel50.com.
You're listening to Turfs Up Radio, the only radio station of its kind dedicated to the green industry. Now you can even ask Alexa to tune you in when you're home.
Are outdated spreadsheets and whiteboard scheduling costing you jobs? Or is a lack of consistency between crews causing your bids to differ from job to job? Or worse, delaying critical invoices and payments? Crew Control offers all-in-one business management solutions fit for every trade. From bidding and scheduling to invoicing and integrating payments, Crew Control provides real-time visibility into your crew's efficiency, whether you're in the field, in the office, or even on vacation. Manage your crews more effectively and improve business performance with Crew Control. Start your free trial today at crewcontrol.com.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world, here's to all the women in the green industry. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
There we go. We're back. Rob's back. Did you just change your shirt? Did you change shirts?
Yes, I did.
Look at how attentive I am. Yeah, it'd be like if we were married and I noticed that you cut your hair. Actually, I'm terrible at that with my wife. She has to let me know. Do you notice my hair? Well, I do now that you said something. But if you shaved your head, I would notice it. So I do notice that you still have hair. I've never told my wife that. Maybe that's the next time she brings that up. Be like, if you shaved your head, I'd be all over it. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we've had that conversation. Yeah, she's not allowed to cut it short. She
did
really?
You guys
mom
have
cut
rules
early
for
on in
those?
the marriage, and I was like, no. Your hair is definitely one of the reasons why I married you. You got great hair, you're beautiful, but
you gotta keep that hair.
Yeah.
We don't need another one of me running around.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're getting there. I got a few more good bullet points, a few more bad bullet points. I think we can wrap this up in the next 10, 15 minutes here. We're going to do this. Speaking of groups, we left off. We were talking about groups and how I like groups. Get around your people, talking about your things. I think this is maybe a little self-serving right here. I like entertaining content and teaching stuff and learning stuff, right? I like checking out other people's content. But the avenue to do this is pretty sweet. Before social media, there wasn't a good way to do this sort of thing. And this is mostly consumed as a podcast. But I actually love it when people come. I fucking love it when people come on live and say, yo, what's up, Dan? Like our boy Doug Brown did earlier. Thanks for checking.
Or when I just pop in late to the episodes. Oh, we're almost done. And then it's oh, no.
Oh, here comes Rob for another hour.
Yep.
But I enjoy the content side of it. There's some good content out there. It's entertain with the right host and the right guest and the right people on. It's entertaining and it's productive. So I'm a big fan of that. Not all content is good, obviously. Some kind of sucks. You might think this sucks, but if you're listening to it, too late. Gotcha. But anyway, I hope you like it. I hope you're listening. I hope you're like, yeah, Dan, rant, man, rant. All right. One more. Let's see here. Let's see. Maybe two more good things, then some bad things, and I'll finish with good stuff. I really like hunting and fishing content. I'm just such a redneck. And so I get to see a lot of that and like and follow and smash that like button and subscribe. On social media, right? I can self-select a lot of the stuff that I see. I still get a lot of bullshit too, but I like the fact that when I was growing up, it was if I wanted to watch or expose, get exposure to hunting and fishing stuff, it was Saturday mornings from 10 to noon on one of the TV channels. Maybe I'd be lucky enough to catch some hunting or fishing content and I'd just eat it up. I freaking love this stuff. Like it is everything that I do when I'm not working or hanging out with my family. And half the time when I'm working and hanging out with my family, I'm also hunting and fishing. It's just me. And the access to good hunting and fishing content and to learn, because like I want to get better at it all the time, to like learn new ways. You get entertainment, you get education, kind of like business stuff. But I'm just all about that. I love it. Now here's some things. We're gonna finish the list of things that are not good, and then we'll come back to some things that are good. You good with that, Rob?
Sure.
All right.
It's your list.
It is my list.
It's not like we've got like the shared list. Like, I'm going to take this one. You take that one. You take that one.
No, I got a long. I told you, man. It's like 2 pages of stuff. There's kind of like some overlapping things here. One of them, and this is probably like a meh for some people, but if this is all social media was, I would just be off of it. Just people with their updates of what they're up to. I like them randomly here or there, but sometimes it's just like, I just don't care. It's just a little much.
So I hate, like, on the flip side of it too, though, is like when you don't post about an event or something that you did and you have like that lingering, like, man, does the world think I don't like this child because I didn't post like 8 things about them, or like that, hey, you know, when we hit the million and it's like we posted like a week later or whatever and things, and it's like, or never. And then you're like, I can't post like the last 5 events right now because then they're going to start showing all these things in November that we did, but actually happened in July, and people are going to be really confused, like what's going on. And yeah, don't like that.
It creates like a weird obligation. Like, shit, do I need to post this? Are people going to be pissed if I don't post about this? That's a good point. I didn't even have that one on my list. Look at, see, we are going back and forth. Look at that. So I don't like the random updates. And these two kind of go together. There's just too many people that can get close to me with their own agenda. And Corey, I think it was Corey or Chad that had said that last week on the show. And I just wrote down, I was just like, man, that's a good point. It's just like people can be your, you know, quote friend, right? Digitally, but they're not there to be your friend. And they can like know too much about you without actually having to know anything about you. And that's just kind of freaking weird.
Okay. First huge convention I went to, and I'll say this, and now I've met so many of the people that I'm friends with on social. And granted, there's so many that I'm not, like, that I see all the time. And then like when you meet somebody in person and then you're like, wow, they're really short, or good grief, they're fat, or they're tall, or they're skinny, or whatever else. And you're like,
yeah,
that's not what I thought. That, like, you know, I figured Rob was like 700 pounds with that, or Rob was like 6'5", you know, like, and then you like meet somebody, you're like Jersey. I'll pick on him for a second. Like, he's like, you see him in person, you're like, dude, on the internet, I definitely did not think that you were like, he's not tall, you know?
No.
But like, you see him in person, like
very, very, like, he's like a fit, average size dude.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, I just, from everything I saw, I was like, dude, my bar was like, you were 6'2", 6'3". Like, I was thinking you were, and like, I was like, what's up, Jersey? Hey, you know, like,
yeah, you're 5'11". You're just like me.
Yeah. What about filters? Filters too on that. Not for us so much, but the girls.
Yeah.
Or those guys that use filters.
I think filters on any picture drive me nuts. It's like, if you aren't in a spot to actually get a beautiful picture, like, change where you are. Don't change the picture. Actually, and I don't, this isn't a social media rant, but like Google phone, how it can like change your pictures. I'm just like, I don't want nothing to do with that. I don't want fake bullshit. I want what really happened. Why would I be interested in my pictures being not real or your pictures being not real? Like, that's not real. I want real. I don't want fake. I don't want made up shit. I want what really happened. So I like what am I going to take a picture of a fish and like stretch it out to make the fish bigger? Like, if now here's where it spins back to stuff that I like, and then I'll finish with stuff I don't like. If it's so egregiously edited that it makes it funny, I'm in. I love funny stuff. Like, bring me all the funny stuff. Edit all the pictures, edit all the posts, make them super funny, GIFs.
Except for when it's like, oh, look, I have bunny ears on my face or whatever. Like those things.
It's like, good grief, people. No.
Yeah.
What about, okay, is on your list, like when people, like when there's an event and people start putting all like the tags for the causes and this and that like, they're like, that's really cool. I know you think that you're accomplishing something, but you're actually not. Like
Yeah,
the
I
fact
didn't
that you
write
put
one
a
down, but I'm
support,
writing it down now.
support whatever community event, country, cause, whatever, like it's very rare that it would even have any impact. It's cool. Like I know you feel better, but like,
I might put that under the meh. It wouldn't cause me to leave social media, but I'm not like, oh, who's tagging who? What's the tag on this? I never click on a tag. I could care less about a tag. The back to the people getting too close to you, it drives me bonkers. And if this was all social media I'd be off of it in a heartbeat. The number of people that friend you where you're like, I already know what the fuck's gonna happen the minute I accept this, if I accept it. And maybe a message or two, they're like your friend, and then eventually they're trying to sell you some shit. And I'm just like, just don't friend me if you're just gonna sell me some shit. I don't who's buying their shit? Why are they still doing it? Is it working that well that people are buying their shit? If that's how you need to sell to me, you must not have anything worth buying.
So I'll say that for the ones that are like the scams and stuff too, that you're like, you don't actually know me. You're just trying to hit as many people. This is, I guess, social media's ability to then have people that are going through pyramid schemes and stuff that they're like, oh, send a message to every single person. And it's like, hey, Dan, what's up? And Dan's like, hey man, haven't talked to you in 13 years. Dan, I've got this really awesome opportunity. It's really great. I get to stay at home and sell essential oil. And again, I'm picking on essential oils, folks. Just having some fun here. But there's so many of those that you've gotten those messages from people that you're like, you're just viewing me as another potential dollar sign, not an actual hey, let's catch back up.
You just got this random ass agenda that you're trying to bring me into your bullshit. Not a fan. If that's all it was, I'd be out of there. So let me finish with these. I got two ones that I like, and then I'm done with my social media rant. I like the family stuff. It's cool to see what's up with the fam, especially cousins that I don't see that often. And so some posts from them about what they're up to, I like, as long as they don't post every day about what they're up to. And I'm just like, dude, don't you have a mom or somebody else that can tell you that they love you or anything? Why do you need to get that from here? But I do like the family stuff and just being able to interact with, especially family that I don't get to see that often. I think that's pretty cool. And then just seeing what's up with old friends. I've got old high school buddies, old college buddies, and it's there's no way I might not see them ever again. And if I do, it'll probably be random, right? But it's cool to every once in a while see something from them and be like, oh, this is what Zach is up to, or this is what Brad's up to, or whatever it is, right? It's it is. I think that part of it can be kind of cool.
So on your list, do you have the algorithm listed on there?
No.
Because it's all of it. I hate it. I really hate it when the algorithm, during political seasons, you need to see this post that's saying this about this person so that it'll really rile you up. It's going to piss you off so much. Or the ones that it's goodness, Facebook, that I get drawn into reading this person's stuff because they're so obnoxious. Mm-hmm. And then there's the other ones that are oh man, I wish I could see more of your stuff. But it's no. We need to dangle this carrot further away from you.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that the algorithm changes all the time.
That's a good point. I didn't think about the algorithm. See, and here's where we're going to just sum it up. It's just a massive love-hate. If it's easy to go on a rant about all the shitty things about social media. Just did 2 episodes of it, but I'm still here and I'm not a total hypocrite. There's got to be stuff that's good about it. And there's some good stuff. And so I gotta play some music here as we wind this baby up. I'm not going anywhere. But when something hits my list of things that I hate, it's either gonna cause me to block that person, block whatever, get out of that group, or just altogether delete the app like I did with Twitter. It's just I'm here to have a good time, not here for a long time, right? And so I'm not gonna let the bullshit that's happening out there in the interwebs and social media ruin my day, cause me to be interacting with people that suck. And it's conflicting, right? Because it's like I want to stand up for what I believe in, but like we already addressed, we're not going to be out there changing people's minds. That's not where it's going to happen. So no sense in wasting my time trying to do that. Just got to go pursue shit that actually makes you happy. And it usually ain't on social media unless you're watching Home Service Happy Hour or listening to it. Then at least, happy's right in the name. So hopefully you're getting some good vibes from this. That's it, boys and girls. I've got my boy Scott Ziegler on the late night show tonight. Scott, we got a special guest.
I got my boy on here.
It's Batman. Literally your boy. No wonder why your internet's working better, because now he's up by you. He's not streaming whatever downstairs. That's what's going on.
Pretty much.
That was Woohoo screaming anyway.
Streaming, not screaming.
No, he's just throwing siblings under the bus.
Yes.
That's what we all
cool, man.
Yeah. So I got Scott coming on tonight. We're telling stories. Scott's another outdoorsy redneck, just like myself. So we're gonna be telling hunting stories. We're gonna be catching up on business stuff. He did some cool things this year to delegate some stuff. So it'll be business, outdoors, story time. I'll probably show up with a whole cooler full of NA beers for that episode. But we'll see you guys tonight for that one. You guys know what to do. Work smarter and harder. Go earn some pride. Thanks for hanging out, Rob. Thanks, buddy. That was fun.
Yeah, man. I unmuted myself.
There, just
see you guy.
Peace.